how can both large organizations and startups really stay ahead of the trend and see and how do they deal with these changes in technology and how do they make sure they don't get left behind and they still manage to stay relevant?
Okay. See, when as I said that my last few years with Mahindra, I had been the innovation manager there. So I was working very closely with the CTO. And I was actually in him understand that what kind of emerging trends are coming and how should we be riding it or not. So things that I used to do, I can tell you a bit. It really helped me. So one thing that that's very important is you have to follow certain people, influencers. Okay, so I mentioned about Kovacs. I came to know about Kovacs from one futurist named Peter Diamandis. And wherever I go, wherever I speak, I always speak about these people, because if you just follow their work, if you just follow what they are talking about, you will get to learn way more and you will be already ahead of the curve. People like Peter Diamandis, Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil is also the inventor of our flatbed scanner, by the way. And he has been a futurist. He has predicted many things and many of them have come to life. And in fact, they have come to life in the exact range of years that he mentioned. So there is another person that I personally used to follow is Tony Seba, more on the green energy side, and Ramesh Nam, and he's also on the green energy side. So there can be different influencers and futurists in your domain. So you have to identify who are those people who talk about all this. There are a list of influencers that come, and you can look at that. The other thing that I used to do is looking into the reports. There are technology trend reports and general trend reports as well from Deloitte, BCG, McKinsey and all. I feel McKinsey is something. I actually have McKinsey Insight downloaded in my phone. Whenever I get time, I just look into McKinsey Insights. That's amazing way of feeding your brain with information of what's happened around the world. Specifically for technology, you can look into Gartner technology trend. Every year they give you the S curve. Actually, that's something that comes into how a technology moves. Okay, there's a curve, and Gartner technology trend. If you look at that they are released from 2015, 16, and all that, you can compare and you will see that essentially some technologies are moving ahead. There is a life cycle of a technology, how it moves. You can get a good idea from Gartner's. All this said and done, one thing that always will help is to understand the trend of increasing ideality. Okay, this is a concept from TRIZ. And being a TRIZ level 2 practitioner, I almost like in love with this concept of TRIZ ideality. You know, think of it this way. So when the first telephone was born, the idea was to share, the initial thought process probably was that now people are separated by distance. How can we minimize the distance? The first thing they thought of, okay, let's see, voice transfer. There was to be a cord, there was to be other stuff, and we could at least hear somebody from long distance. Then the next thing came that why only voice? Why can't I see him? So that's when the video calls came, right? And then the ideal condition would have been, if I just want, I can see and hear somebody and I don't want to even pay for it. Now that's where WhatsApp video calls have now come, right? You want to talk to somebody, see somebody now without paying much or actually not paying anything. You can do that, right? So first thing at that point of time when the first telephone came, if somebody said that I want this, that I don't want to pay, but I still want to hear and see somebody, people would have said, what crazy guy this one is. But the point is, that's the ideal thing to be. And if you don't have an ideal, then you will never progress in life. So in any kind of progress that you see, any kind of trends that you see, you have to see that what's happening, what is the ideal trend should be. And then you actually can go ahead and say that next, this is what is coming. Now, I was thinking today that something that I was looking for, actually, I was looking into my, wanted to listen some music. and I was listening to Amazon Prime, Prime Music and the Ghana and all that, but I didn't get what I actually wanted. You know what? Uh, so sometimes it happens that we actually love certain kind of musics, and that's not rock, that's not jazz or anything. That's certain kind of frequency, there's certain kind of pitch that helps us feel good. If we would have always understood what a song says, then we would not have made Despacito so famous, right? So certain ways, certain things hit us. What if we have a this kind of a music app which understands what kind of frequency, pitch, and all that suits me the most? I mostly listen to, and then from the collection of the world music brings to me only musics that whenever I listen to them, I feel good. I don't need to go and say no, no, I don't want this. It should be that level, and technology can do that. Technology, I am pretty sure that right now somebody is working on this. Definitely machine learning can do this very easily. So this is what I am saying, that once you say that this is the ideal I want, I don't want to, when I listen to say Atif Aslam song, I don't want to listen to all Atif Aslam song. I like this song, but doesn't mean that I will like all the songs of Atif Aslam, right? So I like certain frequency, certain pitch. Can the system provide me that? That's the gap, and that's the gap somebody can explore as an opportunity.
Very interesting, Shantan. Now you shared some really nice insights with us about a lot of topics on design thinking and exponential technologies. Now, just to sum up now, what would be the final piece of advice that you would give to entrepreneurs and senior leaders at large organizations in how they can really implement a design thinking process and how they can get started with this?
I think most of the pointers are covered. Only thing is, I would say that again, I will re-hammer this point, which is design thinking. Don't take it as a methodology. If you will make a big mistake if you say that design thinking is a 5-step methodology. I would urge whoever watches this video, after you watch this, and later on, if somebody asks you to say that what is design thinking, don't just go ahead and say, so there are 5 stages, starts with the empathy and ends with the test. No, I like you to say that design thinking, it's a mindset and you have to inculcate that. And that's one very important piece of advice. And difficulty that people face when applying design thinking is that they can't empathize well. And what do you say? What do you mean when you say empathize? Most of the time people ask me this question. There are two things: be a good listener, be a good observer. And you don't need to be in a big organization or a startup to apply design thinking. You can do it at your family. If you are a husband, go and apply that on your wife. If you are a wife, go and apply that with your husband and your kids and your friends. Try to empathize with them before getting angry to what they are saying. If something is something you don't like, don't just get angry. Try to understand that, okay, from where this person is coming and talking from and all. If you start practicing that in your own life, you will automatically become a design thinker. And that time when somebody says you can you create a product, you will automatically think that how can I create a product without even looking for whom I am making it, right? So that's how design thinking has to be made. And the training, as I said, has to be more of intrinsic. It cannot be extrinsic. So make sure that you just don't get a design thinker in and then get people trained and believe that done, my job is done. No, it doesn't work. Once or twice some external trainer can help. Beyond that, it has to be a very intrinsic process for any organization, be a startup or a big organization, to follow.